Hmm. You know, there's been a interesting complaint recently. You're probably unaware of it if you're outside of Australia and outside of the JB Facebook page. So this is some exclusive goss for those who are interested. I'm spilling the tea. We're not liking the prices of steelbooks right now. In general, physical media is getting more expensive, and I'm not just talking about the boutique stuff. Yeah, that shit's expensive. We get it. I've talked about it already. But I'm actually wanting to talk about the standard stuff. Standard Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs are going up in price, and it's doing everyone's fucking head in. Half of the time they're making Blu-rays, no, 4Ks more expensive, and not even presenting a Blu-ray with it. It's just the single disc, and I'm like, I don't want to pay $40 for just one film, especially if there's no special features. What the fuck is that? And if it ain't limited edition, I'm just gonna wait for a sale in maybe 6 months because hopefully it would have, dropped in price and then would be on sale, even though there are always those rumors that they up the price just before the sale so the sale isn't actually applied properly and it's all a fucking sham. But nevertheless, let's talk about a sham I can prove. Okay, let's screen record just so I can put a little thingy there so I don't have to use images. Here we go. So this is the JB page as of the 17th of January 2025. We got exclusive Nosferatu steelbook. Look at that. Look at that wonderful artwork. They haven't confirmed the artwork yet. $60 Australian dollars. We have seven, $55. That is crazy. Venom: The Last Dance is $60. I have the steelbooks for the previous two films. I never watched the third one in cinemas. I was busy, and now it's $60. I should have watched it in cinemas. Gladiator 2, $70. I think there's meant to be a premium version of that, but it might just be because it's the 4K and two Blu-ray discs. And now we get to the ones that are actually out on disc already. Well, Joker Folie à Deux, obviously the one-star reviews because people don't like the film, which is fair enough. I haven't seen it, but you do what you got to do. $40 is. See, some of the steelbooks can be $40 for the 4K, but they come with a Blu-ray disc, which sometimes is the reason I will buy a steelbook over a standard version of a film because I will want the Blu-ray disc, even if there's no difference. If there's no special features difference or anything, it doesn't really matter. But I like to have the insurance value of having the Blu-ray disc just in case the 4K is scratched or damaged or skips or doesn't work, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta jump to the other disc just in case. So, which is worth noting. Wizard of Oz is the collector's set, which is a hard case booklet and a bunch of art cards. I'll actually jump into it and show you, because it's not the ugliest, and it does come with Dolby Vision. I haven't heard anyone talk about the transfer, but as you can see there, it is, if it's not going to let me zoom into it, is it? A bunch of reproduced art cards and posters and lobby cards and shit, so it's still a lot for what is $85. I mean, the Pulp Fiction one right there is $99 for the fucking limited edition 4K steelbook. That is fucked. But even in the same line, you've got Nightmare on Elm Street, which is $80, and Beetlejuice, which is $80. Godzilla's $55, which isn't the worst. It is 3 discs, and it's not the worst. Still ain't great. I mean, look, I spent $115 or whatever on the big, collector's set, but that's because I had to pre-order it to make sure I could get it. But yeah, Kraven the Hunter, $60, and that's just a standard 4K steelbook. That isn't even like for $20 extra dollars, you get a hard case and all the extra goodies for Beetlejuice. So, wow, is that a $120 game on Steelbook with a pre-order DLC? That's the PS5 still, but wow, that's expensive too. The fact that they released Furiosa Black and Chrome as an individual Steelbook, even though it's the exact same artwork as the standard Steelbook, at least in Australia, just in black and white, and it just comes with a black and white version. It doesn't come with on 4K, no Blu-ray, and that's it. I hate that they did that. I would never have watched Furiosa in black and white, but it's fucking ridiculous. Actually, it's just black and chrome, the black and chrome version, but it's just ridiculous that they're doing it like this. It's like they had the collector's set as well come out, the 5 disc for all 5 films. By the way, we're not going to give you the black and white version of Furiosa, but we are going to give you the black and white version of Fury Road. So, But yeah, and then a lot of the ones that Australians have had to get, again, Taxi Driver is $60. Apparently Wolfman's going to be available. That's great. $65 for Bridge on the River Kwai. That and Lawrence of Arabia came out, and they were like 70 to 80 bucks for standard SteelBooks. There's nothing special about them. They're just standard, and they're just hard to get. And that's obviously someone was able to make some kind of a deal to get them into JB and ramp up the price like fucking crazy because they know that they sell well overseas. I know that if you're in New Zealand, I'm going to stop this recording here on my phone. I know that if you're in New Zealand, they have started doing importing for standard, like for just standard Disney films, like Deadpool and Wolverine and whatever, and they're way expensive because they're imported. Like that kind of stuff I saw for CDs, which was always a strange thing. Like, oh, $35 for a CD soundtrack that's an import, whereas, you know, a standard CD would be 20 bucks or whatever. Maybe it's $40 for the import. And occasionally I would buy them because it's like, oh shit, this is not easy to find. I'll buy it here, easy peasy. And I think that's the mentality that they're hoping for. That most people will see the big price and be like, oh, this is a premium thing. Look at this SteelBook. It's just a piece of metal. I've had my way with SteelBooks in the years. I hated them when they first came out. I became to love them because their artwork and their exclusivities, they looked pretty, you know, and they do look great. I love artwork. I love the display of artwork. Wonderful stuff. But over time, I got tired of them because I had to buy protectors for them. I had to do all this due diligence just to make sure that they didn't just damage or scratch. And then it became, fuck, the glossy ones are the prettier ones, but I hate them because they scratch easily. I like the matte finish ones, but they rust easily. Like, there's just no fun place. And also, because I had to put them in protectors, they suddenly became bigger than the standard size of a Blu-ray. And as you can see on my shelf here, which is already very strangely organized, it just has a weird level of... Actually, this one right here has 1, 2, 3 different SteelBooks in it, plus the bloody Digipack for Shazam. That's the DCU collection in the letter D. That's already a problem of its own. Most of those are all matte finish. Actually, they're all matte finishes, so I don't care that they're next to each other or next to standard Blu-rays, even though they could scratch over time. It's like, you just gotta live with it sometimes. But those were not that expensive in contrast. Like, at most, they were $40, maybe $50. But it's like, it's just fucked. Like, most of the time, I would import SteelBooks and stuff from Zavvi, from the UK. And I would rarely ever touch them on, like, Amazon or anything if they weren't going to be well packaged. Yeah. And I know you can make the same argument, but hey, Zavvi weren't good at their packaging, and, I mean, they still aren't. But I only ever had one SteelBook actually damaged, and if I had known at the time that I could have asked for a refund or for a replacement, I would have done so. That was the King of Comedy. I ended up having to glue it back together, but now it looks like shit, but at least it's still there and the disc still works. The only other SteelBook I've had damaged, which I did order through Amazon, was Coraline, and they gave me a full refund. So I got it for free in the end, and I just have this damaged SteelBook that I can't do anything with, but the discs work, and that's all that really matters. I can actually glue the case back together. I actually peeled it all off and ripped the part off just so I could glue it together. I never got around to gluing it, but I can, so I can fix it. I'm lazy, and I've had it there for like 8 to 10 months now. I'm great at my job. Maybe even a year. I've had it for a long time and I still haven't fixed it. But again, the fact that this is in Australian retail stores, that these are premium prices for stuff, to the point that when you go in-store to buy them, they're usually behind the counter or in a glass cabinet. So you can't even look at it if you want to just analyze, like, if you're a casual person. Oh, wow, they've got a SteelBook for this movie. I want to compare it to the standard version that's already available on the shelf. What's the difference? What? You'll never know because it's only showing you the spine of it, or maybe it's showing you just the front of it? Oh no. Like, how are you going to know the Wizard of Oz has a nice fucking package and everything unless you look it up on the website, which, you know, you should, realistically, but not everyone's going to do the due diligence, I pronounced it properly last time, to actually figure this shit out. And occasionally I'll see them in store and be like, man, I really would like to buy that Wizard of Oz set or the Beetlejuice one, even though I've already got a SteelBook for Beetlejuice, and Wizard of Oz I've already got a 4K, despite it not having the Dolby Vision. And I'm just like... Also, Wizard of Oz doesn't even have the third disc, which comes with all the special features, and it is such a fucking slew of special features that's on a standard version that already existed years ago that I have, and this new limited edition version is just the film on 2 discs? What the fuck? Oh my god, everyone likes the postcards. Gotta get the posters. Little pieces of paper are so much better than riveting documentaries that show how fucking destructive that movie was to its cast and crew. Nevertheless, masterpieces are a pain, but now we have them in pretty posters. Nevertheless, I digress. But yeah, no, it sucks. And the problem is too is that a lot of people are still going to buy these SteelBooks, mostly when they're on sale, which will still convince anyone who's actually importing them in to think they're still selling, we got to keep doing this. But they don't. I don't know why the fuck they're doing this. Why are these SteelBooks $80? Not for the premium ones, they just have extra packaging and whatever, which I guess, sure, makes sense for the price, but that shit's really cheap. It doesn't cost that much to do little pieces of paper. It really doesn't. I know people who work on that shit. It is not expensive to make that stuff, and it's a fucking scam that we're having to pay more for that kind of bullshit. So it's just, why the fuck is it so expensive? And why do they think that we want it to be expensive? Like, they don't. They just want to make more money. They don't give a shit about us. As long as it sells, it doesn't matter. And the good thing is, for them, they're limited edition anyway. Not numbered, but they're limited in nature, just in general. Gives you some FOMO, pretty artwork, 4K disc. Sometimes they'll announce the 4K of the film on a steelbook before they'll actually give you the standard version. We do have Beetlejuice on standard 4K in Australia, but Wizard of Oz, you've only got the old Blu-ray, old 4K, which, to be fair, is the better one because it comes with 3 discs and all the special features. It just doesn't have Dolby Vision, but I don't think they're really advertising the fact that the new one comes with Dolby Vision. Does it matter? I don't know. No one's fucking talked about it online. I haven't seen shit about it. I don't think anyone cares. The standard HDR version looks fantastic. But I know that Nightmare on Elm Street, which I do actually have that exact same version, I had bought it from it was either Outrun or Dead in DVD. I think it was Outrun, and they had imported it from I think from the UK. So mine does have the UK stickers, which if I look up the top, I cannot see it. Oh, it doesn't have the UK stickers on it, but I think the Steelbook does. Something about it has those stickers. But nevertheless, I do have the UK version, and I did spend, I think I spent less than $100, so in theory, I still spent basically what I would have bought it for at JB. And that's kind of on me, but I also wanted all the extra stuff that came in it. I like the packaging, I like the design of it, and we weren't getting it at all in Australia. So I'm like, well, do I get the basic 4K, which is $50 to $60, or do I spend 20 to 30 extra bucks and it gets pretty packaging and it looks great, and it's a fantastic film, and it looks amazing on 4K. It sounds fantastic on 4K. So it's just, I know I'm kind of living in that kind of its own loophole, but at the same time, we weren't getting a release in Australia at all, and I wanted the prettier packaging because it just looked fucking better, and it just was better bang for your buck. One disc of a film for $60 on 4K, or $80 for 2 discs and a bunch of special features and a bunch of packaging bonuses. I'll take that. So, worth noting, I guess. But it's still just tiresome, nevertheless, that we didn't even get a standard version of Nightmare in Australia. That's what I've been trying to say, and I just haven't said it for the past 5 minutes now. We did not get a standard version of Nightmare in Australia. We only got the 4K Steelbook. We only got the premium fucking version, probably just because Warner had a fuck ton lying around, and hey, what country can we ship these to? Oh, let's put them in Australia, and they could sell them at JB Hi-Fi for $80 a fucking pop. That's the price of an import, which makes sense because you're importing. But for JB to have it locally, if they had it there for $60 for the premium price, hey, we got a premium hard case set, $60, I'd be like, fuck, that's pretty good. Because if you look at, if it was just a standard Steelbook, $40, for example, like a standard Steelbook should be, then it's that's not too bad, for 20 extra bucks you get all these bonuses, and that's kind of how I rationalized it when I bought it in the end. So, I don't know, but it's just becoming tiresome to the point that I'm not buying these 4K sets. I'm not buying the $100 4K for fucking Pulp Fiction. I'm pretty sure I already have that film on 4K. Why would I need this deluxe Steelbook set? I don't need that. It's a waste of my fucking money. You could make the argument, but Julian, you're very used to buying stuff like Second Sight and Arrow Video and all their hard case premiums and stuff. Yeah, but that also has a different kind of attitude to it. That is essays and booklets and a fuck ton of special features. It's a boutique label. It's not a special edition fucking steelbook. Something that degrades and erodes over time and also can damage really fucking easily. And to be fair, if it's your only version of the film and you have kids, do you really want your kids touching that shit? Do you want your family, who don't know how expensive and how precious this shit is, to be handling it with their bare fucking fingertips on a glossy steelbook? Every Christmas, Gremlins gets just dirtier and dirtier. Woof. So yeah, it's stressful to look at that and to think that just a standard steelbook could be $80, and it basically is. And I'm like, I cannot rationalize that. Like, if I saw that in store, I'd be like, oh fuck, all right, I don't usually get steelbooks anymore, but a JB, exclusive steelbook, sure, let's take a gander. Oh look, it's $60 and you get one disc and like no special features. I'd be like, who the fuck wants this? I don't want that. Go away. So it's tiresome. It's stressful. It's tiresome. And I'm just simply not buying them anymore. Like, I will only buy the steelbooks of films that either films I've already collected in a series, like John Wick or the Godzilla films, like the Monsterverse ones, where I was already buying steelbooks. Then I'll buy the steelbooks. If I'm desperate to make sure I have a 4K and a Blu-ray, I might buy the steelbook, especially if it's like a $40 steelbook, and the 4Ks, they're usually $36.98 in Australia. So like that Joker one, $39.98 for the 4K steelbook, but the standard 4K with no Blu-ray is $36.98. So for $3 extra, you're buying it in a hard case, steelbook with an extra disc. That's pretty fucking good, especially if the artwork is good. The Joker one, the artwork is not good, but it would be nice if the artwork was good, because most of the time, it's nice when the artwork is good. So, yeah, I have no interest in buying these expensive versions of premiums and stuff for steelbooks. I don't need that. I'm good. Thanks. Bye. See you next time. Let me know your thoughts down below. Are you also stressed out about this stuff? Do you think it's fucking ridiculous that they're trying to sell it to us like this? And do you think it's worse that they're selling it to us like this with no alternative? Again, like Nightmare on Elm Street, the only way to get it in Australia is either to spend $80 on a 4K steelbook package bundle or import it from the US. What are your options? Comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Good golly gosh.